Hello and welcome to the WADT podcast once again. Today, Hafiz and I, we're going to do something very different. We're not going to discuss any specific topic. Well, maybe yes, the topic is ourselves. Today, we're going to answer 20 questions to tell you more about ourselves, okay? And the reason why we're doing this is kind of to celebrate our 1 year anniversary. If you remember, Hafiz, January 20th was the date. 2021 was the first episode that was posted of the We Are Dads 2 podcast, and today it's known as WADT. So 1 year has passed. Wow.
Yeah, Parksen. And I know why it is. There will be 20 questions because the date we started our first episode was on the 20th of January.
Okay, yes, that's a relationship, but not intended to. Well, everything works out, right?
Yes, and things has been like that for us. I think for those people who want to start anything for that matter, not just a podcast, do start anyways. Of course, you must plan. You must have the right resources, the right support. Set a very clear goal, but just start. Just do it. as they
Just do
say.
it. Wow, this is a commercial for Nike.
Yeah, and it's already 1 year, and we have done nearly 50 episodes, and
That's right.
it seems that it's just a short time, Parksen.
Yeah, time flies, when you're having fun. All right, let's have some fun today. Okay, we have 20 questions, and we're going to just answer them very briefly so that our listeners can get to know a little bit more about us. So, question one: what's your favorite way to spend a day off?
I would like to say not doing anything, but that's not
Yeah,
possible,
just
right? You
switching
must.
off, right?
Yeah, but for me, it's just doing something that anything. There's no specific thing. Anything that for that particular time, I feel that I've not been doing this for a long time. For example, even just walking in the park, or even sitting down watching a movie, either alone or with my family. Yeah.
Mm.
So nothing special. It's just something that I have missed doing, in on the working days. But again, today nowadays with work from home, it's quite flexible. So day
Yeah, that's
off and
right.
day on, you
Yes,
can't tell difference
correct.
sometimes.
In this new circumstances, a day off doesn't feel like a day off because every day, you kind of, yeah. So, well, in the past, I would used to go swimming, or maybe read a book or something like that. So that's how I spend my day off. Not very interesting. Well, never mind.
Yeah.
Question number two: what type of music are you into?
Again, it depends. I like many kind of music. When I was growing up, I like slow rock music because my siblings like those kind of music, so I become influenced. But as time goes on, I feel that music must be something that help me to just relax. So for me, it can be instrumental. It can be just a cappella, because sometimes I just don't want to be distracted by the noise. Just a human voice, for example, and then and just enjoy. Yeah.
Mm, wow,
What about
nice.
you?
Well, I used to like pop music, and actually, I learned quite a few of the songs. And today, I've of course forgotten most of the lyrics, but slowly it comes back to me when I hear it. In the 70s and 80s kind of songs. Today, I listen to jazz, not the real jazzy kind, but more of the smooth jazz. Because it's very soothing and calming. Yeah, so I like smooth jazz today.
Wow,
Okay.
jazzy, yeah.
Question three: what was the best vacation you ever took and why?
Wow. Actually, strangely, this is something that not only I look back and enjoyed, but even the children and my wife who went along with me. That was, we visited a very simple mountainous area in Java, in Indonesia. Actually, I was doing my work there, and I brought my family. I have this habit of doing that. And there is it's a 20-minute drive to the mountainous area, and until today, because it was so quiet place. It was not like those kind of very popular, crowded, modern place. But we enjoyed riding horses. There's a lake. It's like a volcanic lake, and a
Mm.
simple, very budget hotel. You know, so I can tell you that that always rings my mind. And my children especially who followed me that time. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. For me, well, it wasn't a planned vacation. My wife, we were transiting through Moscow on the way to one of the Soviet republics. This was not many, many years ago. Um, and wow, we were really impressed by Moscow. I mean, it was a very strange place. It was, well, not winter. No, it wasn't winter. And what really impressed us most was the subway. I don't know if you have ever seen photographs of the Moscow subway. Every station looked different, and the architecture was really elaborate. It's like, it's like visiting a museum. Every station looks like a museum with all its design and things like that. So we were really impressed. So that was the best, most memorable place that we've visited. Of course, we visited some pretty exotic places too. We've been to Netherlands, we've been to Israel, we've been to New Zealand for our honeymoon. Yeah,
Wow,
so
how
it
many
was
countries have you
very
been to?
different. Not many, not many. We don't travel quite a lot. We couldn't afford to travel a lot. Yeah, but those are some of the places we go to. Yeah.
But for me, half the time I travel because of work. So I try to, mix vacation and work sometimes,
Mm.
just to take the opportunity.
Well, yeah, that's of course, expenses paid.
Not really true.
Question, yeah.
Some, something to pay extra.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Question four. Where's the next place on your travel bucket list and why?
Wow, this is something that I've been wanting. Place I want to go, New Zealand actually. Why New Zealand? It's not because of Hobbit land and Lord of the Rings or whatever, but I really like sceneries. Mountains,
Mm,
waterfalls, and I've seen photos, and I almost was there again during my work travel, and I
mhm.
wanted my wife to meet me there, but somehow it was during school term, so it didn't happen. So I will still look forward to that.
Yep. New Zealand is worth going, definitely. My wife and I spent our honeymoon there.
Wow.
For me, I would like to go to, yeah, some of those very scenic places, all right? Whether it's Eastern Europe, like Estonia, Bosnia, places like this, which I've seen beautiful photographs. I hope the real thing is as nice as the photos. If not, I want to visit the Swiss Alps, and small little towns and villages. Those are the kind of ambience that I really want to experience. Besides city life, Singapore, we've exposed to city life a bit too much. So I want I
Yeah.
want something more, relaxing, a slower pace of life, and really, yeah, and the mountainside.
You are listening to the WADT podcast. If you have enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow or subscribe so that you will not miss any episodes. Share the link to this episode with someone you think that will benefit from it. We want to know what you think of this episode too. Please feel free to share your comments on one of our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also email wearedats2@gmail.com if you have a question or need help. And now, back to the program.
All right. Question 5. What are your hobbies and how did you get into them?
Oh, hobbies. At the moment, I think is cycling because it serves many functions. It serves exercise function, and at this age, I love soccer. I used to play a lot of soccer, but I got injured, so cycling is the next best option. And I get to go to places and go to places that when you drive, especially, you don't get to see. And I even sometimes park and ride. It becomes just part of me nowadays. But I'm not the avid and all out cyclist who buy equipment and accessories. No, I'm just a basic point A point B cyclist.
All right. You like to move it, move it. Okay. Well, when I was young, my hobby was, making those model aircraft, right? World War II aircraft and things like that. That was years ago. I think today I don't think I have a hobby. Everything I do, I enjoy. Yeah, seriously, I don't think I have a hobby today. I mean, something like stamp collection, no, no, none of those. So yeah,
Those were the
maybe I need
days.
to
Huh?
find one.
I
Yeah,
think
those were
stamp
the days.
collection, yeah, is the
Yeah,
most popular hobby. Yeah? Yeah, I was also doing that at one time with my siblings. Wonder what
correct,
happened to the
correct.
stamps nowadays.
Yeah. If doing housework is counted as a hobby, then all right, that's my hobby.
Wow, your wife is so lucky. For me, it's not hobby; it's a chore.
Well,
But
it's called
I
reframing.
Yeah, but I learned to enjoy it actually. I learned to enjoy and do many things while I'm doing housework. I listen to a podcast. Watch YouTube as I go, and time just pass by, even if it's a chore.
Yes, yes. All right. Question number 6. What was the last thing you read or book you read?
Last thing, not finished reading, of course. Our next book, Ego is the Enemy. But
I
before that, I
see.
read
Okay.
another book on breath. So I was interested really to know about uh, what breath actually is, breathing actually is, in terms of mindfulness and how it helps you to relax. So there's this book,
Mm,
Breath, just simple simple title, by James Nestor. It's a very nice book. For me, I like books which have stories. So he relate a lot of his experience doing breath work, experiments, and
mm.
real experiment. For example, he tested himself, not breathing through the nose, just breathing through the mouth for 1 month, I think. So a very strange experiment, but he then, tell in his book the effects and so on and so forth. Yeah, so very interesting.
Wow. Okay. That sounds painful.
Yeah, things people do to sell books nowadays or to sell
Okay.
anything.
Well, I'm in the middle of the book, Beyond Anger. It's about, men and anger and how they can overcome it and be healed from it. I'm in the middle of that, and then I kind of took a break from that and read this book, which I finished in 2 days. And the title is a novel; it's a fiction book,
Wow.
and the title is "A Stranger in the Boat." And wow, it was so captivating. I couldn't put it down. And last night, I just wanted to finish it. you know so I finished it last night. And so it's about a man who is on this journey, and as the story unfold, you begin to know his childhood, what he experienced, and how it's affecting him today. And the stranger in the boat basically is, well, according to the story, is God. So it's
Mm.
also a book about this man finding faith, or rediscovering his faith in God, and eventually finding healing for his childhood wounds. So very captivating. So I'm looking forward to his next book. I've reserved it in the library and waiting for it to be available.
Nice.
Okay, number 7. Would you say you're more of an extrovert or an introvert?
That's why. At one point in time, I thought I'm extrovert because I like to be around people. All right. Then I realized that I'm more an introvert. I enjoy being alone nowadays and doing my own things because maybe I'm so deprived doing my own things, being so much involved with a lot of work, community work, and so forth. So
Hmm.
I grown to be an introvert nowadays, and yeah, I don't know whether it's a natural thing for me, but I enjoy being an introvert nowadays.
Wow. Okay. I'm kind of the reverse. I used to be an introvert, in fact, a super introvert.
Wow.
But it's out of woundedness rather than personality. That's not my natural self. And so after I've got so-called healed and restored of all my childhood trauma and wounds, I find myself changing into a more, well, I would say, a good balance of extroversion and introversion. And yeah, after spending too much time on my own doing reading and writing and things like that, I I become itchy to meet up with people, so I try to make appointments. So,
Nice.
teaching in workshops and giving talks, and meeting in men in groups, small groups. Those are different ways I get in touch with people and keep in touch with people, so that I maintain that social life in that sense. Otherwise, I'll be a hermit.
Well, I like when you say when you find a balance now. I think at the end of the day, don't put ourselves in a box. All right, we have to adapt and
Mm,
learn to choose and what suits the situation. And everyone is capable of doing that, and not to say that I'm an introvert, I cannot do this. This is not job for me. This is not an event for me. I cannot do this. So I think there is many personality theory or even approaches that says that there are many levels of personality. So again, it
that's
can be
right.
the underlying, the everyday, and the overextended. This the Lumina profiling that I use. So it gives a
Mm,
more balanced picture of things, not but doesn't put you in a fixed mindset or fixed box.
that's right. Sometimes we
Yeah,
limit ourselves. Yeah,
that's right.
we
That's right.
label ourselves and we limit ourselves as a result of that.
Yeah, when opportunities come, good opportunities, we just miss it.
That's right.
Yeah, that.
Okay, question number 8. What is your favorite ice cream topping? Yummy, yummy.
I don't know. Nowadays, I don't know why I like durian. I must say my wife is influencing me. Okay, but used to be mango. I like a lot of mango. So any
Uh-huh.
fruit you give me, you can put aside all the fruit in the world. Just give me mango.
My answer is happened to be the same as yours,
I
durian.
see. I see.
Although I don't look for it, but if it's available, I would say, please give me some durian on top of it. But it has to be the real durian, not just the
Yes.
artificial durian flavor.
Yes, yes, it does make a
It's got
difference.
to be the real thing. Otherwise, it's not the same.
Yeah, me too, me too. Well, we can wish
Okay.
everything. No,
Yeah. Nowadays,
wish the
there's a
best.
lot of counterfeit and artificial flavoring and things like that. So no, 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 thank you. All right. Question number 9. What was the last TV show you binge watch or TV series?
Okay, this one was end with an E. I watched it with my daughter. Why I
Mm.
watched it, I think is because she started watching it, and I was realizing how come this girl, this 14-year-old girl, start watching a 19th century movie or series. Then I start asking her what it's all about. It's about this girl, blah blah blah. Where you found it from? I know it from TikTok. Wow, interesting. Then I start watching with her, and we finished the whole what do you call it? How many seasons? Within a week, you know. So for me, that's considered binge watch. Binge watch. I think that's how many seasons? Maybe nearly 10 seasons or six to
Wow.
ten seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Maybe about six, not 10. Yeah, but it was quite a long thing, but it was very interesting. Yeah.
All right. Wow, that's really a long series. Mine isn't that long. The last one I watched was Band of Brothers. It's about the 101st Airborne Division, or one of the platoons, or one of the battalions from the 101st Airborne Division during World War II. It's based on true story, true accounts of the survivors of that battalion, and there were only 10 episodes, an hour each. So yeah, I took leave. I took a week leave,
Wow.
and read the book, and then watched the book, the series. So very, very moving, very touching. I was really moved by the brotherhood, and that's why it's called Band of Brothers. The brotherhood that they was forged in the midst of very, difficult and traumatic times like World War II. I think more than 50% of the battalion died in the war. All right, and so yeah, it was really difficult to just watch how they lose their friends. You are listening to the WADT podcast. If you have enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow or subscribe so that you will not miss any episodes. Share the link to this episode with someone you think that will benefit from it. We want to know what you think of this episode too. Please feel free to share your comments on one of our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also email wearethatstu@gmail.com if you have a question or need help. And now, back to the program. All right, question 10. Are you into podcasts or do you only listen to music?
Wow, there's an obvious answer, right? The fact that we are running podcasts, yeah. I mean, yeah. For me, I follow quite a number of podcasts, but I'm selective on the topics for any podcast. So yeah, I'm into podcasts rather than anything else. Yeah.
Yep, me too. I follow quite a few podcasts. Sometimes I get confused. Some are pretty long. Some can go on for about 2 hours, and some an hour and a half, and things like that. Yeah. So mainly they are about psychology. They are about human relationships. One of them is even on therapy. And things like that. So, yeah, I have not subscribed to any comedy podcast. Maybe I'll look out for that.
You should. You should. Sometimes I talking about comedy. I think that it's important for us to listen to some very good comedies because and learn. Actually, a lot of comedies, or even stand-up comedies, all right, they are done in a very cheeky but full of lessons and very very strategic to me. Trying to make joke or something a serious topic. All right, and most comedians are
Mm,
very successful. They are of that nature. Of course, putting aside those are very successful and they use a lot of four-letter words and so on. But even
mm.
then, all right, don't take comedians or stand-up comedy lightly. All right, they are usually social commentators.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
They speak the truth in a humorous way, so that the truth is more palatable, and easier to be accepted.
and you get
And
away
that's
with
why
it.
people laugh, because they are laughing at themselves actually. So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Now, question 11. If you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would that be?
Wow. Actually, I've been thinking about it. I never thought about this question. So again, maybe mango again lah. I love mango so much, and I'm not never had enough of it lah. Maybe I was talking to my wife just now, just about mango. All right, maybe the mango that we eat nowadays is not the real mango. All right, so I mean, I go to Cambodia, and for me, when I eat Cambodian mango, it's very different. It's more natural to me. There's more fiber.
Mm,
I mean, it can be like a meal. You can take it like a meal,
wow.
like you get filled. Like nowadays you buy, even you eat two mangoes full. You don't get filled. So again,
Mm,
yeah, just in short, mango, but the right kind of mango.
okay. Wow. But all right, sounds interesting.
How about you?
Well, I'm not sure if I can eat one food for the rest of my life because I get bored quite easily. So I need variety. But if I
Yeah,
have to choose, I guess I want to choose something that is simple but yet nutritious, and well balanced. So I guess it's maybe a chicken salad. Okay, so just some white chicken meat and different kinds of vegetables, and I think
but
that would be good enough.
but you put the question, if let's say you survive, you need to survive on an island, right? There's no other food,
Mm,
but there's this only food that can last you forever. What would it be? For me, sometimes the natural food, and the food that is so flexible, and you ask me, it's coconut actually. All right, because it gives you all the nutrition. All right, it gives you hydration, it gives you fiber, it gives you the protein, and not only the fruit, but the tree itself. There's so many uses, and in my culture,
mm,
and I think in so many other cultures in this region, the coconut is really like something which is very very flexible and very useful. In many of my cultures, the Malay culture, food is revolves around coconut.
yes, I've
Just a
observed
simple
that.
fruit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm.
Okay, so if I do get stranded on an island, I hope there will be a coconut tree.
Yeah, and you better know how to climb.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's another thing. All right. Question 12. Do you like going to the movies or prefer watching at home?
Yeah, nowadays I prefer movies, especially when it's the social distance, right? You really have all the space. and I like the
Uh,
sound effect and the big screen and really immerse and no distraction. You are just there for 2 hours to
mm,
enjoy and the movie. And to me, it's quite worth it lah. In Singapore, of course, it's quite expensive, but when I travel, right, it's much cheaper. I mean, in Asia, yeah, I would usually go and watch a movie there, and sometimes binge even during holiday, during vacations.
yep, yep, yep. Yeah, I like to go to movies. Not cheap though nowadays, and yeah, like you say, okay, the sound is better. So I guess depends on what kind of movie I'll be watching. All right, if the sound is important, then I'll go and watch in the movie theater. If not, then I'll just watch it at home.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Question 13. What is your favorite sleeping position?
Um, None. No
You don't
favorite.
sleep?
No favorite, because for me, I would like to sleep towards the right on my side. It's much better because it seems that you don't put pressure on your heart. And you can, and so on and so forth. And it's advised medically also to sleep on your side and
Mm.
not on your back. All right. But the problem is sometimes I feel not comfortable. Even I thought I've been practicing it, so I just go to the left whenever I'm more comfortable. So end of the day, I cannot say what's my favorite, and I can't even remember when you sleep. You can't remember actually which last position you were in. That is my favorite, lah. Whichever position
whichever
that make me
whichever was the
sleep.
last one. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, for me, if I'm sleeping in my bed, yes, it's either on the left side or the right side. Sometimes, when I lie down in the bed, I would feel, I have a feeling, okay, today I'll turn right, so I'll lie on my right side, and then I'll just fall asleep. But if I'm sleeping on the sofa, it's on my back. I don't know why.
Mm, okay.
Okay.
Wow, it's mysterious thing.
Yeah, something about the sofa, I think.
Okay. So what's
Okay.
next?
All right.
We got to go faster than this.
Question 14. What is your go-to guilty pleasure?
Let me see. Yeah, I mean, eating this
What is that? Oh, chocolates.
chocolate.
Okay, Ferrero Rocher. Okay.
Yeah, I like chocolates. All right, so
All
not too much
right.
of
For me,
anything.
it's potato
It's,
chips or ice kacang.
uh,
That's These are the two.
yeah, no,
Okay.
but
Question
yeah, again,
15. Yeah.
depends what kind of chocolate, right? No, there's
Yes,
high,
yes.
yeah,
Depends on
dark
what type of
chocolate. So
chocolate.
I tried like dark chocolate, but still like the normal one. Anyway, let's go to the next one.
Okay. Question 15. When you were a kid, did you eat the crust on your sandwich or not?
Yeah, I do. I'm being trained to being trained to do that. In fact, we
No.
used to
Yeah. Waste
buy,
nothing, right?
we buy crust, because after
Mm.
the bakeries, right, they will sell away very cheap, crust. We buy them. Those were the days like we were young. I think different than nowadays. My kids don't eat crust. Most of them.
Uh,
No, not all of them, but
okay.
one or two
Yeah.
of them. Yeah.
So for me, I do remember when I was young, there was one period of time where I didn't like the edges of the bread, so I would just peel it off or cut it off, But then eventually I learned to eat everything. Yeah, don't waste anything.
Yep.
Okay, question 16. What's your favorite quote from a TV show or movie or book?
Okay. They say this is from Spider-Man. Actually, it's not. Uh, with great power comes great
Great
responsibility.
responsibility. Yeah,
Something like that,
well,
right?
it was
Yeah.
on Spider-Man, but I think he was quoting someone else.
Yeah, he was quoting someone else, but it's something that I remember a lot. Maybe due to the recent Spider-Man movie, lah.
Mm,
Okay.
okay. Well, I can't remember a favorite quote, but I can only remember one quote by General MacArthur. I'll be back, or I shall return. Sorry, that's
Oh, is that, no,
Terminator. I'll
not
be back is
Terminator.
the Terminator.
Oh, you take away
General
some of Terminator,
MacArthur
it will
is
come to
I
you.
shall return. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Question 17. What do you do on your commute to and from work?
I listen to podcasts and YouTube. Yeah, because for me, I don't listen to radio nowadays. I used to do that, but you cannot choose what you listen on the radio. You see, So for me,
That's
I
right.
can choose
Yeah.
what I want to listen, and
Mm.
I don't get pushed. I pull what I want to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All right. So for you, because you drive, yeah, so you probably have to listen. You can't read a book, right? For me,
yeah.
I'm
I
driven
haven't tried.
around, so I do get to read. I read a book or I listen to a podcast, or sometimes I just want to relax my mind, so I will listen to music. So these are three options. Okay,
Okay, so my turn to
question
ask
two.
you the last three
Yep.
question I ask you.
All right. Good.
First, what activity instantly calms you?
What activity instantly calms me down? Well,
Instantly.
watching a comedy show like Mr. Bean.
Yeah, yeah. True, true. Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
watch
it
the
does.
news.
It has the opposite effect. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, same to me. Yeah, it does. But activity. To me, it's breathing. Seriously. No, but I think it's just the way that our life so fast, right? It's just we don't pause, So we just need to pause. And I think watching comedies, watching something which is lighthearted, after a hard day's work,
Mm.
that would certainly also helps. Yeah, to pause lah. I think that certainly is needed. Yeah. Next, okay. What's one thing that can instantly make your day better, Parkson?
Well, a hug from my wife.
Wow, is that a textbook answer, or she's telling you to say that?
No, no, no. She's not. She's not next to me.
Joking, joking. I'm sure that was an honest answer. I wish I can say that. In fact, yeah. Once you say that, yeah, why not? I think sometimes we take for granted, right? Yeah,
That's
and
right.
I mean, how many people we can hug, lovingly and without, much, barrier, but our wives, right, or our couple, our partner, yeah, and yeah, I can copy that lah. Probably my wife
Okay,
will
no
love me more for
problem.
that. Okay, and last question, the 20th question: which meal is your favorite? Breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Or you have supper also?
Well,
Or you don't?
nowadays my breakfast consists of just one cup of coffee, and I don't eat until maybe past 11 o'clock or something like that. Yeah. So I guess so-called lunch would be one of my favorite, and then yeah, and sometimes that is could be the only meal I have.
Okay. For me, I will take this question differently. My favorite meal is when I'm eating with someone I enjoy being with, right? So it doesn't matter lah what it is, breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Very good
supper,
answer.
tea,
Mm,
Yeah. So but of course, sometimes, do you enjoy your meal while you are with someone? Yeah, it's a bit, you don't. You can must concentrate your conversations and so forth. But I don't want to waste my time sometimes eating alone. But there's also what we call mindful eating, right? You have to,
that's right.
really concentrate, Yeah. Not yeah, that can be quite also. Okay. So nice
Wow.
that we managed to go through these 20 questions. Yeah, about 30 minutes. We made it.
Yes, I hope our listeners enjoyed it also. They get a peek into our private lives
Yeah, and
and get to know us a
it's
little
not
bit
an
better.
yeah, it's not an ego trip. All right. That would be our last thing that we want to, share with you guys, and who we are and what we are. And because the next book club book they're gonna talk about is, yeah, ego is the enemy. Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you
Well,
very
good.
much, Patson.
All right. See you again.
See
Bye
you in the next
bye.
episode. Bye bye. This is the WADT podcast, and thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like, follow, or subscribe so that you will not miss any episodes. Share the link to this episode with someone you think that will benefit from it. We want to know what you think of this episode too. Please feel free to share your comments on one of our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also email wearedebts2@gmail.com if you have a question or need help. Till next time, this is Hafiz and Parcsen signing off.